Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Crossing the Line. My name is Matt Entrican.
I'm Sean Sullivan.
And we are back with 3 new fresh topics for you today. And to start things off, we got a little Kyler Murray talk, who's been in the middle of some big-time drama. Kyler Murray recently in his agent sent out a letter to fans talking about what they want from the Arizona Cardinals. And so today, we're going to talk about it. Sean, get us going.
Well, like you said, it was a very cryptic and odd sort of message. As talk at the end of the season, the Arizona Cardinals, there's definitely some turmoil, a lot of disagreement about how they want to go about the future. Kyler Murray being upset about his placement in the overall scheme of NFL quarterbacks. He's looking at quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and soon to be Herbert and Burrow as well. They're getting their big-time contracts, and Kyler Murray wants a piece of that action. As for the overall press release that got sent out, it was very weird. We were kind of talking about this, of the whole sort of tone of it was a little accusatory, and definitely, I think, some arrogance shown on the side of Kyler Murray. In the press release, they're talking about how, he came into a terrible situation, bringing a three-win team and bringing them into more of the limelight. But if we take a couple steps back here, Kyler Murray, has he played well? Absolutely. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year a couple years ago, but he's still battling some injuries and some inconsistent play. So is he necessarily deserving of a big contract? I'm leaning more towards the side of no. It's just kind of, do you really want to get yourself locked into a quarterback that has shown that he is injury prone and has some attitude and body language issues? We can see, like in the Detroit game this past season, they're losing pretty badly, and Kyler Murray's body language is not what you want to see out of your franchise quarterback, Matt.
Absolutely not. And, in my opinion, I think we need to file a complaint to OSHA about all the children working in professional sports today. I mean, talk about juvenile actions. I mean, you got Kyler Murray scrubbing all the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter content related to the Cardinals from all of his social media, and now you've got him sending this incredibly cryptic letter talking about how he wants, this whole new contract. He wants to be the Cardinals, but he wants a contract that equates to his skill and his talent, his performance in comparison to all these other quarterbacks, but won't actually say how much he wants, leading us to think that, maybe he wants to go for like $50 million contract.
I mean, it's weird, like you're saying, where he's not really saying what he wants. He's showing one thing, but it's like you're saying, scrubbing all social media. It's like, do you really want to be on the Cardinals if you're having no attachment to the Cardinals at all? I'm like, oh no, I want to be here for a while, and I want to be your franchise quarterback and have this massive contract. It's like, well then, show us that you want to. They even said in the press release that actions speak louder than words. And Kyler Murray's actions are screaming very, very loud that he does not have a very good attitude about this whole situation.
I don't know why the NFL today is not an episode of Gossip Girl. We don't need to be playing games with our employer. Like, come on, Kyler Murray, hey, just be transparent, be upfront, and don't cause all this drama. If you want to be, he talks all about how much he wants the Super Bowl, how much he wants to be a champion. If you want to be a champion, take the example from other champions. Look at guys like Tom Brady, who did not care about money and wanted their team to use the money they could have spent on him for other guys to build a great team around them.
And I won a Super Bowl. Who doesn't want to win a Super Bowl? I like to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Me too. That would be pretty cool.
It's not a very good leverage play on Kyler Murray's part.
Kyler Murray, mature up a little bit. Be a little bit more selfless. I mean, you're only in your 3rd year of the NFL, and you're already causing all this drama. Never heard a lick of anything from Tom Brady in all his years in the NFL.
No, definitely not.
Of course, except for the cheating, but that's neither here nor there.
I have a different story.
All right, guys, we're going to move on to our second topic of the day. We're going to talk a little bit of Lakers.
Whoa, Matt. We're not ESPN, man. We don't need to talk about the Lakers.
Well, yeah, we do.
No, there's other NBA teams out there.
Huh?
Yeah, there's like also some really good NBA teams out there. There's a team that almost has 50 wins this season.
Who's that?
The Phoenix Suns.
There's basketball in Phoenix?
Yeah, they're really good as well. We don't need to talk to the Lakers. We can talk about other stuff.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Do you want to talk about Phoenix?
I mean, I guess. I've just never really done that before.
Let's talk about Phoenix. Let's shine some light on the Phoenix Suns, guys.
Right, Phoenix Suns. That's a very clever name because it's so hot in Phoenix. Right?
Absolutely, it plays very well.
That is a good idea. Good for you, Phoenix. That was a good idea. All right. So get us going, Sean.
Yeah.
What about the Suns?
The Suns. They have this player. His name is Devin Booker. He's quite one of the best shooters in the league and a premier shooting guard at the number 2 spot. He's playing at, some may say, at an MVP level. The same thing with their point guard, CP3, a Hall of Fame player, a very fantastic point guard. They're a really good team. They're almost at 50 wins this season. So there really makes no sense as to why, the media's not really talking about Phoenix. They almost have 50 wins here.
this Devin Booker character you're talking about. He sounds like he's a pretty good player. I've never heard of him.
I guess maybe because people are just talking about LeBron the whole time.
But LeBron is, I mean, he's a god, man. We got to talk about LeBron. Pay homage, worship him, man.
But if you're a true sports fan and you like good NBA basketball, don't you want to be incorporated and feel like you're getting a whole mix of the NBA scheme as a whole? As we saw this past season in the NFL, comparing the NBA to the NFL, we didn't have the Chiefs, we didn't have the Patriots, we didn't have really any of those premier teams. The Rams maybe a little, but the Bengals have not been good for a while. So it's always, the fans get behind these stories of these teams that weren't very good for a very long time, much like the Phoenix Suns. I mean, they haven't been good since Steve Nash has been there, and that's been years. And now you have two premier players, so it's time to show some love to the Phoenix Suns.
Man, well, Sean, you have won me over. I had no idea that there were other good teams to talk about.
That's the beauty about crossing the line. Not only will we have enticing sports debates, we'll educate you guys at home about teams that exist in this world outside of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
No.
How fun is that? How fun is that?
Terrific.
The NBA, it's fun.
Man, what's next? A team in Nevada? Unbelievable. All right, guys, we're going to move on to topic number 3. Another thing we don't talk about enough, the NHL. We're going to talk some hockey, and specifically the Colorado Avalanche, a team that has been elite for the last few years but has been unable to get over the hump in the playoffs. So today we discuss what is going to be that X factor that is going to propel them to the next level and get that Stanley Cup. Sean, what do you think?
Well, simply put it, the only thing that can really stop the Avalanche from reaching their peak is the Avalanche themselves. This is a fantastic team. 3 lines deep on offense. You have a fantastic captain with leadership with Gabriel Landeskog, who's on an absolute tear on a massive point streak. You have one of the best players in the NHL in Nathan MacKinnon, battling some injuries, but when he's on there, he's electric. He's a problem for the defense, as we saw a couple games ago against the Vegas. He had a fantastic one-timer goal, and Nathan MacKinnon is an absolute problem. You have one of the best defensive players in Cale Makar. He's definitely going to win some rewards this year. So the only thing they really, really need, and this is kind of nitpicking here, is a premier defensive player, because you have a lot of really good two-way offensive defensive players like Devon Toews or Cale Makar, Sam Girard. So they just need one more really good piece. Darcy Kemper is also hitting his stride. A little bit of a rocky start. He had back-to-back shutouts, though, a couple weeks ago, so he's really getting in his stride. So there's really no other team that I can really think of outside of the West that is really going to get in the way of the Avs making their ability to reach their peak.
I like it, Sean. Now, the other thing I'm going to say, I think most obviously, Avs stay healthy, it's going to be a completely different situation for them. And I think it starts with Nathan MacKinnon, who, like you said, Sean, has had some problems staying healthy. But if he can just get out of this funk a little bit and he can be healthy and he can be there 100% of the time for the playoffs, the Avs will be there. Now, is it a deal breaker if MacKinnon can't be there 100% of the time? I don't think so, because the Avs do have incredible depth. But injuries on the whole, preventing injuries from the roster, I think is going to be huge for them. And I want to give a little bit of a dark horse X factor. Andre Burakovsky, one of the few guys on the Avalanche with that championship experience. He was great for Washington a couple years ago. And if he can be that same man for the Avalanche, I think it's becoming a whole different game.
You say, though, that if they lose Nathan MacKinnon, they're still probably fine. But I don't know, Matt. If they lose their best player on the team, sure, you have good players like Nazem Kadri and Burakovsky, like you're saying, but Nathan MacKinnon is that X factor, man.
I know, man, but I believe. I think they can do it.
They all want to believe, but when you just have such a big distraction in a positive way for the Avalanche in Nathan MacKinnon, that he's that guy you need there if you want to win that Stanley Cup.
Here's the other thing we didn't consider yet. Fun fact, Jared Bednar, since he cut his hair, the Avalanche have gone 25-3. Before, they were very so-so. 25-3 since he cut his hair. I think the haircut is also instrumental. He needs to stick with it.
Most important thing is everybody knows to be successful in hockey is to have the most handsome coach in the league.
That's
and
right.
The Avs, bar none, hand down, have that.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into our final segment of the day. It's a fan favorite, Shoutouts. We got a couple good ones for you today. Sean, who you shouting out?
Let's go to the college basketball world, specifically Iowa City, Iowa. We're shouting out today. Caitlin Clark hit 8 threes in the Big Ten Championship in a 104-108 win over Michigan. Put up 38 points as a whole. If you hit 8 threes, it's going to be hard to stop you. Hopefully they do well in the tournaments following up there. Shout out Caitlin Clark on the fantastic performance.
That is unthreelievable.
Ah, good one.
Not my best play on words, but I'm going to take it anyway. All right, and I am going to be shouting out the fighters of Ukraine. And in particular, I want to shout out Hall of Fame boxer Vitaly Klitschko, his brother Vladimir Klitschko, and Vasily Lomachenko, all of whom are well, the first two are Hall of Fame boxers. Vasily Lomachenko, he is currently the number 8 boxer in the world, and all 3 of which have committed to join their country's military in the defense against the invading Russia. So I just want to give them a quick shout out. You guys are true men. No need for Shane from Mulan to make a men out of those Ukrainians. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us on this episode of Crossing the Line. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Peace.
Catch you later.